Hi guys, today we're going to be talking about how to calculate the line of best fit. So if you take out packet number 7, or if you don't have that, please print out the packet on the Google Classroom that is attached to this lesson. We are going to be taking the same steps on finding the line of best fit or a linear regression equation like we did for the R values or correlation coefficients, but we're only going to be using the A and B values this time instead of the R values. I'd like you to complete the front of the packet on your own, the first page, which is the do now. It's a review of the correlation coefficient. So please pause the video right now. Well, not right this second, but please pause the video and then answer the question and unpause it when you're done. And you may need to pause the video as you go along to take all the necessary notes needed. All right, so answer number 1, is there a correlation between months recorded and profits made, and is it causal? Causal is just a cause and effect relationship. The answer is yes, there's a strong positive relationship between the months and profits, but we can't say it's causal. We can't necessarily say that the more amount of time they're open, the more profit they're going to make. That's not necessarily how profit works. All right, next question, estimate the correlation coefficient. If you had anything between the range of 0.7 to 0.9, that's great, because that's what a strong positive correlation is within that range. Next one, what does the correlation tell you about the scatter plot? We already said there's a strong positive relationship between the number of months and profit. So hopefully you guys got those correct. If not, please go back, rewind, and correct your information. Next, we're going to look at page 2. This is where we're going to be talking about a line of best fit. It says when data is displayed in a scatter plot, it is often useful to attempt to represent that data with an equation of a straight line for purposes of predicting values that may not be displayed on the plot. Such a straight line is called the line of best fit or a trend line. So it says using the scatter plot below, where would you draw the line the best fit? That goes through the center of the data displayed, and that is what we call our line of best fit. So please see if you can come up with one on your own. Pause the video if necessary. The line would not look like that because it's going outside the data. It's not really fit nicely inside the data for that one. But here it kind of goes through all the data nice and pretty. It doesn't necessarily have to touch all the points, but as long as it represents the data, that's the best we can do. Now what we're going to do is, in order to make predictions, we use this line to see the trend in data. But before we can make them, we need to get the most accurate line possible to get the most precise predictions. And how do we get the most accurate line of best fit? To do that, we're going to find the equation of best fit using our calculator, and we call that the linear regression equation. So now what I'm going to ask you to do is turn to the page 3, which is where we're at. We're going to look at the data, and we're going to calculate the linear regression equation for the donut pit profits. So make sure your calculator's on, and you're going to press Stat and then Edit. You're going to still plug your data into list 1 and list 2. Pause the video so you can do that. Now that you have your data into list 1 and 2, you're going to press Stat, Calc, and then you're going to press 4 and enter 2 times. Still the same steps. And your calculator should look like that. If it doesn't look like that, please pause the video and go back and put your data into list 1 and list 2. Next, it says at the bottom, write the linear regression equation for the donut shop, rounding to the nearest thousandths. Well, our thousandth spot is the third decimal place. So what we do is we look to the right of the 1, it's a 6, and the right of the 5 is a 7. So when we round it appropriately, we get 0.572, and for B, we get 2.326. So make sure you write all of this down in your calculator. On your paper. We don't need the R values today because they're not asking us for the correlation coefficient. Pause the video. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to write our final answer. All we're doing is plugging in the A value in for A and the B value in for B. So it's Y equals 0.572x plus 2.326. So that's what we're doing today is calculating the calculating the linear regression equation. So for your classwork, I want you to complete the next 2 pages on calculating the linear regression equations.